Hello, my name is Kaylene Lockwood. I am a mother of 4 and a grandmother. My husband and I run 2 businesses from our home. We don't make a fortune, but we do manage to make a living to support our family. I would like to step back in time for just a minute to explain how we got in the situation that we are presently in. In September of 2005, we were gone helping my in-laws do some work on their home, and while we were gone helping them, our home burned to the ground, taking with it all of our worldly belongings, including the handprints that our children had made in their Sunday school class when they were younger. We also lost our home-based business because all of our records for customers were in the house, which we had spent several years building up. We regrouped in a larger town close to where we had been living and used the insurance money to buy a business that was up and running and had been for approximately 30 years. We needed an income to support our family, having lost our income. This sounded like a good plan to get our family some stability and get us back on our feet again, not to mention that these people were supposedly friends of ours who we had family gatherings with and spent many hours with on a regular basis. We also found a home to buy, which after several months of living in a hotel and a very small rental property, things seemed to be finally settling down once again for our family. After running the business for several months, it became apparent that there was something very wrong with the business and its potential to earn money. My husband and I at first thought it was us, that we were doing something wrong, until we obtained a copy of the day-to-day takings of the business from the previous owner's bookkeeper. That is when we found that the people who sold us the business had allegedly, we have to say that to protect ourselves until the court makes its ruling, falsified the accounts from the business. That is when all of our problems really began. Needless to say, it ended up in a lawsuit. Well, here we sit, 6 years down the road, and the lawsuit has finally been finished in the court. We are still waiting for the ruling on that case, as it is under advisement by the judge. It could take 2 more months to receive the ruling. We have been waiting since December of 2012. While we were in the middle of this suit, we had to take money that should have been used to pay our home loan to pay lawyers so that we could proceed with the suit in court. We admit this was wrong, and that we should have paid our home loan, but on the other hand, we also needed to fight this lawsuit to stop us from going bankrupt. At this point, we found out that the people who sold us the business had also done this to several other families, and each one of them had had to file bankruptcy and lost everything they had. We wanted to stop this from happening to anyone else ever again, and are reasonably assured we have achieved that goal with this lawsuit. As I stated before, we used money that we should have paid on our home loan to pay for the lawyers for the lawsuit. If we had not fought this lawsuit, we would have had to file bankruptcy and lost our home through that anyway. This made us behind with our home loan, and eventually, because we could not catch back up with the payments, they started the foreclosure process on us. Our home is worth $265,000, and we only owe $132,000 on it. We were hoping that we would have had the result from the lawsuit and would be able to pay off the home loan. Unfortunately, that has not happened. Back to present day. On Friday, April 5th, 2013, we had the final hearing to finalize the foreclosure on our home. We discussed with our lawyer what the next step would be, and he advised us that we had 30 days to appeal the judge's decision or empty our home and move out. We left the courtroom with that day with the mindset that we had a few days to try to sort things out and get our decision hopefully from the judge on the other pending court case and pay off our home. On Tuesday, April 9th, 2013, at approximately 9 a.m., we were served by the local sheriff a paper that is called a writ of assistance. The law regarding serving the writ of assistance has not been updated since the 1800s. I think it may be time to update that one myself. This meant that we had to leave the house immediately. We were not granted 30 days to move out, even though you have 30 days from April 5th to appeal the decision of the court. You can only imagine my surprise. I called our lawyer and asked to speak to him, but he was busy, so I left a message that we had been served with the writ and what could we do. We sat waiting for about an hour, if not longer, and finally called him back to see if there was anything we could do. We were told he was still busy and hadn't left a message to get to us, so we began to get around so that we could have at least some preparation done when the sheriff came back, because when I called the sheriff to ask if there was any way that we could get this slowed down or stopped for the day because it was bad weather out, we were having rain, sleet, snow, and freezing rain, the sheriff advised me that there was nothing he could do because he just had to follow what he was told to do by the court. We began packing frantically and trying to gather anything that was of value and necessary for us to get by. We finally got to talk to our lawyer several hours later, and he said to get out as much as we could, and then we had to be out of there that day. He also said he would be out of the office most of the day, and he would be back in touch when he was out of court. We continued on getting things prepared and kept thinking surely there was something that our lawyer was going to be able to do and file to get us back into our home and give us the time we needed to get things sorted out and get our things sold and packed up and moved. The sheriff's office notified us that we had to be out after lunch, as the lawyer said he wanted us out. We continued in a daze getting things ready to be moved. Our daughter and our granddaughter packed things, as they were living there at the time also, and she made arrangements to get as much of their things out as possible. We cried and hugged and tried to console each other that we were all alive, we had good health, and we could make it through this, as we had made it through many things, and some were far worse. We received notification that our son's school was being let out due to the inclement weather. He would be out before too long. And how did we tell him we had lost our house, and we were going to be homeless yet again? If you remember, in 2005 our home burned down and we lost everything. At approximately 3 p.m. there was a knock at the door, and it was the sheriff notifying us that the lawyer and the locksmith were on their way to change the locks, and that he would have to follow whatever the lawyer told him as far as time limits. The sheriff had been called and told to be there at 1, but notified the lawyer that that would not be possible, as there were numerous wrecks and other things he had to take care of due to the inclement weather. Our family was thrown out in the middle of an ice storm in which they had closed schools and the interstate. We had nowhere to go and no local family that could help us. Our daughter, in the meantime, had found a place for her and her daughter to stay, and most of their belongings. She made some phone calls and found a place for us to stay for the night that would accept us and our 2 cats. Having just lost his home, we did not feel that we could take away our son's pets also. We continued to box up and bag our belongings, loading them into the trailer we had, freezing ourselves in the process. Our granddaughter kept coming to us asking, "What doing, Nana?" or "What doing, Papa?" She was so upset and confused. Her life had already been turned upside down when her parents decided to divorce, and they moved in with us until they could find a home, which in our college town takes quite a while. We would like your generous help in being able to raise enough money to help redeem our home at this point. Once we have things sorted out, we would like to campaign to have the law change so that every family is allowed 30 days from the date of the final hearing in which to move their family, so that no other family has to deal with this sort of situation ever again. We had no time in which to gather all of our belongings and find another home to rent. At present, we are living in 1 room in a hotel with no income, as we've lost both of our home-based businesses on the day we had to move out. No family should ever have to go through this, and we aim to make changes so that it does not happen to other families as it did ours. Potentially, this change in the law that we would like to make could help thousands of families from this ever happening to again. We have 30 days from the final hearing date to file an appeal, which will cost more money. Our lawyers have reassured us regarding the lawsuit over the business that we will win, and should at the very least get refunded the money we put forward to purchase the business and run it during our time of running that business. But until that decision comes down, we are on hold. We are asking you to please open your hearts and help us to redeem our home, so once again we can get some income coming in and be able to live as a family and not in a hotel room. The money will be used to fight the appeal if we are unable to redeem the house, and also to be able to find another home to rent or buy. Ultimately, we will be lobbying our local congressmen and senators to ensure that no other family is put in this type of position ever again. We are going to ask that there be a law put in place so that after the final hearing, families are allowed 30 days to remove their belongings. They have 30 days to appeal the judge's decision, so it should stand as a law that during that 30 days they are able to live there and get their lives sorted out and figure out what they are going to do. We would also like to have a law passed that inhibits having your home sold for rock bottom price when you have over 30% equity in it. We would like a law made that states in such situations the home is placed on the open market and a fair price is realized for the property. This would give the distressed homeowner some of their investment back. It is estimated by Realty Track that this year over 6 million homes will be repossessed, and that over 5 million homeowners are 2 or more payments behind on their home loan payments. We appreciate your time, and we appreciate anything at all that anyone is able to do. If 140,000 people gave $1, we would be able to meet our goal. In a world with a population of 7 billion, we are asking that only 140,000 of those people give us $1. We know times are tough for everyone, and believe me, we feel it at the moment. But also, if anyone came up to us and asked us for $1, I can tell you, I would most definitely give it to them. Not long ago, our daughter asked me a question, which I will end with. Her question was, Mom, why is it that you guys have always tried to live by the golden rule and to do everything in a legal and proper manner, and it just seems that you continually have people do these sorts of things to you? I really didn't know how to answer that, but I can say this. We have always tried to do right, raise our children to be responsible, caring, kind individuals who treat others with compassion, and we are told by anyone they spend any time around what wonderful people they are. I can also say that at this moment I am concerned as to where our justice system is and what could happen to other families, and would like that changed. Thank you again for your time, and may you have a wonderful and blessed day. Sincerely, Mark, Kaylene, and Nathaniel Lockwood.